And good evening and welcome to Edinburgh. We're at the southern tip of Texas to bring you exciting USL Championship soccer. Tonight, the Rio Grande Valley Toros host San Diego Loyal in a Group West matchup. And glad to have you with us. I'm Mark May with Brian Smith, coming to you from beautiful HEB Park on ESPN+. And Brian, who are our players to watch tonight?
Both teams looking to find some sparks elsewhere in their offense. For San Diego Loyal, they will keep their eyes on Tume Moshaban. He leads the team with 5 assists on the year. He's a spectacular distributor for their team. They'll look for him to use that mighty foot, try to spark an offense for the Loyal that has really been kind of sputtering over the last few matches. On the other side, for the Toros of Rio Grande Valley, their eyes will focus on their own number 11, Juan Galindries. Has been the hot foot of late, 3 goals and 1 assist. What's interesting is he is very adept, only 3 shots on target. All of those have found the back of the net. He could be their key spark in the absence of leading scorer, Wilmer Andres Cabrera.
Yeah, 2 very good players tonight. That's going to spark the offense for the Toros and San Diego Loyal. Should be a good one. The Loyal come in 3 games over 500, resting in 5th place. The Toros in 9th place right now, but coming off a victory. So we'll come back with the starting lineup in just a moment, along with the keys to watch, followed by the opening kickoff. Right now, you're watching USL Championship Soccer on ESPN+.
At HEB, we're inspired by Mexico. The colors, the flavors, and aromas. And we want to share them with you. So we created the HEB Mi Tienda family of products with authentic Mexican flavors. From savory marinated meats, frijoles and queso, to tamales, soft drinks, and more. HEB Mi Tienda brings to the traditional flavors you love. One more reason here, everything's better.
Why choose Lone Star National Bank for your business? Because no other bank does more to support local businesses. In fact, we are the #1 lender in the Valley to small businesses. We put money to work here in our community.
That helps our local businesses grow.
Creating more jobs.
And more opportunities for all of us.
Working together.
Together.
We do what the little banks can't and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
When it comes to our familia, we all have our own flavor and expression. At Tequila de Corralejo, we believe sharing our individuality is what makes gathering together so fun. Here's to those who stand tall and share their passion.
Espinos Tires on Far 83 has been serving the Valley for over 30 years. We offer a wide assortment of tires, wheels, and auto parts. Let us build your dream vehicle with only $49 down. No credit required.
Did you know when you bank with Lone Star National Bank, you're investing in your community? By creating jobs that stimulate our local economy, creating success that we share with our community. In fact, Lone Star National Bank donates more money and more volunteers to more causes than all other area banks combined. We do what the little banks can't, and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
And we're back here at HEB Park, just a moment away from kickoff. Brian, the starters tonight.
Here's a look at our starters, starting with San Diego Loyal. Jorge Ruiz, also known as Coqui Vegas, will be in goal for the Loyal. Most of the usual suspects in the lineup here for San Diego. Keep an eye, obviously, on Moshaban and Adrian Perez, who has been quite a dynamic scorer for the Loyal over their last 3 matches. On the other side, for the Toros of Rio Grande Valley, one substitution in comparison to their normal starting lineup. You'll see Eric Kisner gets to start on defense with Cabezas out due to picking up a red card in their last matchup. Tyler Derrick in goal. 2 forwards in this one for the Toros, Cristiano Francois and the aforementioned Galindries. With those lineups, here's a look at your keys to this matchup. 2 teams looking to solidify their chase in the playoff hunt. For the Toros, it's about having a solid defensive match. Interesting because the Toros tend to be a team that play really good defense, but they have to play 90 full minutes. And once they do that, take advantage of their set pieces. This is where the Toros have found the bulk of their success, is getting into positions where they draw contact, draw fouls, and use those set pieces to find the back of the net. On the other side, for San Diego Loyal, do not allow space for Rio Grande Valley to get up and down this pitch. They thrive on playing in the open field. That's where they draw contact, that's where they draw their fouls. That's how they get to those set pieces. If you do that, you can limit those set piece options and the opportunities Rio Grande Valley has to hurt you inside of the box.
Yeah, the San Diego Loyal Club tied for third in scoring for the USL Championship, coming in with 41 goals as a team. Rio Grande Valley, on the other hand, kind of in the middle of the pack. They're tied for 14th with 32 offensive goals. And then in terms of defense, San Diego comes in ranked 11th, giving up 32 goals, and the Toros are just a little bit further down, giving up 36 goals. They're ranked 16th in the league. So statistically, San Diego Loyal a little bit in front, but I know for the Toros, for their offense, they're going to need somebody to step forward here tonight because they're missing their top scorer this evening, aren't they?
Yeah, Wimmer Andres Cabrera, who was leading the team with 7 goals on the year, was just recently recalled by his home club, Real Cartagena, and because of that, he is actually going back on loan to another team. He's headed to the German club Griffswalder FC via transfer. So the Toros are going to lose what's likely their most consistent foot on the year, and someone who had kind of turned the corner, was taking a leadership role in the offense as he makes his trip back to his home club and then over to that German squad.
Yeah, they'll miss his team leading 7 goals. Also had 3 assists, led the team with 39 shots and 22 that were on target. Also in fouls won. He had surpassed Ricky Ruiz in that category, picking up 64 fouls for his team. That's 64 set-piece opportunities. So, yes, they will miss him a little bit in the lineup here tonight, but certainly that speaks well for him for his career and shows how he was picking up attention from around different leagues around the world.
We were talking pregame, Mark, about what an important matchup this is for Rio Grande Valley. They've been playing spectacular soccer over the last month and a half, clawing their way back into the cusp of a playoff spot. They find themselves 1 point out of the final spot in 8th, facing a San Diego Loyal team who themselves are trying to solidify their spot. A win here could push the Loyal into 3rd place in Group West, and put them in a really nice spot to further their push in the playoff spot. On the other side, the Toros, they've got some pretty big hills to climb. They've got to come over the top of Phoenix Rising and El Paso. El Paso currently up in their match earlier this evening against Hartford. The Toros can't afford to give away points. They've got to get them where they can find them. Here at home against the San Diego Loyal, this may be just one of those prime opportunities.
You can see we've kicked off the Loyal in the white shorts with the green jerseys and gold stripe, and then the Toros wearing the orange tonight with the black shorts. Here's Loyal. Opportunity there at the top of the box, cleared out by Frank Nadarce. And Loyal will regroup in the attacking half. But yeah, you mentioned the Loyal with a chance to climb into a 3rd place tie this evening with the Oakland Roots and Orange County if they can take away all 3 points. Now, that didn't happen last time these two teams met. That was a bit of an upset, wasn't it?
Yeah, Rio Grande Valley came in and played perhaps one of their most complete matches start to finish, picking up a 3-2 victory back in May against San Diego. And I think Coach Cabrera and the Toros would love to match an outcome like that, especially as they continue this push against what are some really strong USL teams over the next couple of matches.
You can see the first shot of the game goes well over the crossbar. That looked like Charlie Adams with the shot. He's wearing the captain's armband here tonight for the San Diego Loyal Club. And actually, I think it went off of a defender because they're going to award a corner kick here. This will be the first corner kick of the match for the Loyal.
That could be something to watch for San Diego. We saw this pregame in their warm-ups. They had an entire rotation where they were just moving their forwards and midfielders across the face of the box and trying to put shots on target from a couple steps out of the box. That could be one of the keys they're looking for against Rio Grande Valley, is long scoring opportunities to keep the pressure on this Toros defense.
And you could see a shot was blocked in front by one of the Toros who's down right now in the box. And that's led to a whistle, and they're going to bring the trainer out there. One of the Toros down in the 6-yard box. San Diego Loyal unable to get anything on net with that initial opportunity.
Looks like that's Eric Kisner. That was quite a shot taken. I believe he ends up getting just kind of clipped as he comes down, you see that kick goes right off the side of his head. He's down, doesn't get his hands up, and that was a full force strike that catches him right on the side of the noggin.
Yeah, you came down with a hard fall there, and then you get hit with the ball. Most insult to injury there, but yeah, Kinsner drawing the start tonight, just his 7th of the season here in his 15th game as a Toro. Actually, I think that might be Ricketts out there. Oh, you're right, it is Kinsner.
Catches that right off the top of his head. He saw it coming, but at the very last second tried to just turn his head to deflect that away.
Now we see Ricketts come over to the sideline. That was Damas, by the way, who had that hard shot. Damas out of Haiti. A hard shot that led to the injury. And we're going to do a drop ball here. Is moving out very close to midfield. And we'll restart the match here in the 5th minute here at HEB Park. A little bit humid tonight. Got the cloudy skies. It's been over 100-degree weather here as of late. But a little bit of humidity here tonight also certainly increasing the discomfort of the players on the pitch, and we'll keep an eye on that as the game wears on. So Loyal with possession here in the opening moments of the first half at HEB Park. Now, when they met back in May 13th, it was, as you said, Brian, the Toros jumped out to a 2-0 lead in that game, had a 3-1 lead at halftime, and then gave up a late goal and settled for the 3-2 win. Here's a chance now brewing for San Diego Loyal. Send this back to Carlos Guzman, who's the left back position. Last week, this team used a 3-man back line. Tonight, they opened with 5 on the back, wanting to make sure everything was safe defensively. And here's Adams, almost got his pocket picked by Galindres. And the pass intercepted by Nodarse. Nodarse, who has a knack for that, leads the team, came in with 43 interceptions this evening, far and away the leader on the team in that category. And Nodarse, in fact, who was more of a forward and midfielder last year, this year has found his calling on that back line, if you will. There's an interception by Colin Martin. Now it goes to Damas. Damas trying to slide it over, had Kinsner break that up. Still an aggressive attack here in the opening moments for this San Diego Loyal club. That's Guido, Alejandro Guido right there. Will pass it back again to Guzman. Always trying to play aggressive defense. Now this is a team, now this is interesting. They got their keeper playing way out right there. And Vegas will send it deep. I was going to say that San Diego Loyal is a team that generally likes to have majority of possession. The Toros the exact opposite. They like to let the other team bring the attack to them and then wait for the counter.
Yeah, to your point, Mark, the Toros, when they have the ball more than 50% on the time possession, they're actually 0-6-6. But when at 50% or below, they're 7-2-4. So it's a Toros team that's very comfortable standing back, applying pressure, and building a strong attack off the counter. They don't necessarily want to find themselves winning that time of possession, standing over the ball, trying to pick the defense apart. They want that opposing offense to really get pressured into making mistakes and allowing that to build strong scoring counters.
Yeah, Toros are at 49% possession time for the year. San Diego comes in at 55%, puts them among the leaders in the league. Last week, San Diego Loyal twice held leads against New Mexico United, 1-0 and 2-1, but ended up in a 2-2 draw in that one. Toros, meanwhile, had a 1-0 shutout against Phoenix Rising right here at HEB Park, which was their 4th consecutive home win. And they've got a 5-game unbeaten streak entering tonight here at HEB Park.
And that was a phenomenal win for the Toros.
Yeah, here's a almost a mess up there, and the Toros almost give one away as we see Damas stole the ball, but then Pimentel was able to block the shot attempt, and it goes out of play. Or are they going to say that he was offside?
They may actually be calling Damas for a foul here. You saw the official quick with her hands when Pimentel went down. We'll take another look right here.
Yeah, put up that right arm. And chance brewing for the Toros now as it's kicked away by San Diego Loyal. And Damas almost embarrassed Pimentel there on that last play at the Toros into the pitch. Here's Ruiz. Ruiz tries to send it inside. He had Davila there. Davila, who's now the team leader with 5 goals after Wilmer Cabrera leaving for Germany. Davila couldn't quite get the touch he wanted. Ruiz regains possession, finds Davila. Now Davila to Pinzon. Pinzon moves in and shoots. Bit of a weak shot that looked like it might have been wide, but Vegas makes the save nevertheless.
And Vegas read that really well. He's kind of moving to his right, keeping an eye on the action, and as soon as Pinzon got into a position where he could turn and deliver that, Vegas was right there. Did not have to move much to get into position to corral that one in.
See a foul at midfield, a quick restart there by San Diego Loyal. I was going to say a moment ago, San Diego Loyal entering tonight as a bit of road warriors as they send this one downfield. This is onside. A shot on Derek makes the save. The ball still loose and cleared away by the Toros. Another close call there for San Diego Loyal as they nearly strike here early on. But the Loyal coming in with a 3-game unbeaten streak on the road. And certainly showing a lot of that here tonight. We've seen that now 2 close calls that they've had threatening the Toros' net.
A little different outcome than last time out for Rio Grande Valley. They were dancing on a razor's edge in their victory over Phoenix Rising. A big part of that, they ended up playing the entire second half down a man and still found a way to keep their numbers forward and keep the pressure off of Tyler Derrick, coming away with a 1-0 victory. And that was a real good test of this Toros medal, showing that if they have to really dig in defensively, they have the ability and the talent to take control of a match in the second half and allow their defense to secure a victory, something that wasn't really their hallmark early in the year.
Yeah, it was Juan David Cabezas, who's not in the lineup tonight because he picked up 2 yellow cards, including 1 in first half stoppage time that led to a red card, and the Toros playing a man down for the second half, and of course he's not in the lineup here tonight. But speaking of cards, I know Taylor Davila got a kind of olive branch from the league office this week.
Yeah, there's an incentive program across the USL if you're one of those players that's right on the cusp of too much yellow card acclamation. You can actually end up being served a suspension after 8. Davila was at 7, but he's played a sufficient number of games cleanly, not picking up cards in order to have one of those removed. So Davila now officially with just 6. That's a little bit more space between himself and that 8-card limit.
It's like the USL Championship's good conduct medal. So Davila now at officially 6 yellow cards. And there we see a foul here as Cristiano Francois pulled down from behind just as it looked like he might be breaking. There were defenders in front of him. Otherwise, this might be a booking.
Charlie Guzman just being really aggressive there with Francois. I don't think there's any ill intent there. Just 2 guys playing really aggressively on the turn here. And you see, looked like Guzman actually tried to kick around Francois to redirect that. In the process of doing so, he gets some shin to chest. That draws the foul.
So the restart. Ball kicked back to Eric Pimentel. Wily veteran from Mexico, 32 years old. Played on some championships down in Liga Mexico. And here's a chance. Ricketts going to send this one forward, and the offside flag has come up. A shot and a score. A nice one, but the offside flag had come up. And that would have been Galindres once more. We've called his name a lot lately, and almost were able to put him in the on the score sheet right there.
Nice eagle-eyed look there from the official. Keep an eye on Galindres. He's right there in the middle of your screen, and he's about half a step ahead of the defender there when that pass is pushed forward. Wonderful job by the officiating crew of keeping a close eye on that line.
That was a nice shot, worth seeing again. But yeah, offside. Score remains 0-0 here. We're in the 14th minute at HEB Park. And no doubt the Toros will be trying that again. The timing just a wee bit off there, but the execution was solid. See again, Vegas, the keeper, coming well out to play almost like a second center back there for San Diego Loyal. And here's a ball's pushed forward for Blake Bodley. Bodley moving into the area on the left side will center the ball and then kick clear. That looked like Kinsner got a piece of that one. Kinsner, just 20 years old, out of the state of Washington. Come out of that Seattle Sounders Academy. Quick restart again here by the Loyal. Goes back to Bodley. Bodley trying to send that one inside. Adams with the header, but that goes out and it'll be a Toros throw in. Bodley, by the way, out of Eagle, Idaho. 25-year-old defender who comes in with 4 goals and 4 assists. So he's one who's often involved in the attack. I think there might have been a throw-in violation here on the Toros. So the throw-in now awarded to San Diego Loyal.
It looked like Ricketts had put a toe across the line when he went to throw that. You have to be completely behind that outline when you make the throw.
Again, Vegas coming well out of his net. You can see him there backing up to his penalty area as the Loyal are forced backward. But he is definitely a one of those sweeper keepers who likes to come out there and join the attack when he can. Here's Guido. Guido with some space, draws 3 markers, and then his pass inside intercepted by Pimentel. And now we've got a foul called and a free kick for Rio Grande Valley.
Stoneman comes up behind Galindres there, ends up clipping the end of his heel as Galindres sets his feet to turn with that ball. But look right here, it's placed pretty nicely right at Galindres, but Stoneman is right up under his feet, ends up tripping him up for a foul.
Stoneman out of St. Charles, Illinois, is a 27-year-old defender. A lot of experience in USL Championship. I know a lot of people associate the San Diego Loyal with the U.S. international players. We see the Toros pick up another foul at midfield. This could be our game's first booking. But a lot of people associate this team with Landon Donovan, you know, one of the most famous names in U.S. men's national team history. Donovan was the head coach in the last couple of years, but this year's moved up to executive vice president. They have a new head coach in Nate Miller.
Press card going to be issued here to Charlie Adams. Sees he comes in, and that's just an unnecessary foul. He's sliding, not playing the ball, but playing the feet of Francois there. Easy call to make for the official. Toros get a chance to get a little bit of a restart here right at midfield and build their own version of this counterattack.
Adams, just his second booking of the season as a team. This team doesn't pick up a lot of bookings. They're tied for 15th in the league, came in with 56 yellows. Rio Grande Valley even softer. They are at 18th in the league, came in with 54 yellow cards.
And realistically, the only player on this Loyal team that's known for picking up a number of yellow cards on the year is Colin Miller. He's actually one booking away from his 8th yellow, which would necessitate one of those one-game suspensions across the USL. Other than that, this is the team that's very technically sound.
And you can see Nadarse misplayed the ball there. Guido came over to intercept, and 3 markers close in on Guido before he could do anything with it. This is going to end up being a Toros throw-in. Guido even feeling he was fouled there, but it'll be Toros ball as they move forward here. We're in the 18th minute, no score yet at HEB Park. Toros a formidable team if they get the first goal. 6 wins and only 1 loss this year. Galindres goes down in a heap. Loyals get control. Back they come. Going to go out to Bodley here on the left wing. They'll pass it back so he can go forward. Guzman forced to play it back to his center back. Stoneman playing in the middle. Loyal have a player who's familiar with these Toros, a former Toro, Camden Riley, but he's not in the lineup tonight. Remember Camden, the red hair?
Hard to miss him out there on the pitch. He had a pretty strong performance with the Toros early last season. Kind of found himself replaced with the emergence of Nodarse on that back line defensively.
And here we're going to have a free kick for San Diego back in their own end. That's a second foul called on the Toros. There have been 4 on San Diego so far. That's on the captain here tonight, Jose Torres out of Longview, Texas, former U.S. international player. Sure, he knows Landon Donovan. This will be a throw in at the far side of the pitch. Ricky Ruiz from Lake Elsinore, California, 26 years old. Throws this one in. San Diego getting control, but then it goes to the foot of Davila. Davila with a chance here and a shot and a save made there by Vegas. Vegas has to go to ground for that one, but stops the first shot of the game that was on target. Vegas out of Spain, actually, 27 years old. And here's Cristiano Francois, the chance. He gets tripped up. Looks like Colin Martin with the trip, and this will be a free kick in a dangerous spot here for Rio Grande Valley.
That's exactly what we're talking about. This attack for the Toros is at its best when they force opportunities from mistakes of the opposition. And you see right here, Colin Miller just takes Francois down right there. What does that lead to? A set-piece opportunity for Rio Grande Valley, and that is where they have really done their damage this year.
That was one of our keys to the game. They've got this set piece right now. Their goal won the 1-0 victory last week. That came off of a set piece, a corner kick set up by Davila. That went off the noggin of Galindres. And it looks like Davila will be taking this kick here. He's got Torres kind of setting up a kind of a screen on the keeper Vegas. This is a tactic that has worked for the Toros this season. Set up that one-man screen, and here's Davila. Gonna lob this in, and Vegas comes out and gives a punch. Diving punch. You don't see that too often. He went after it and wanted to leave no doubt as that ball was angling in toward the far post.
Yeah, that was well designed by the Toros. You see it here. Sometimes they'll play a little bit low and look for a redirect. That time it's Davila looking to put that one on net. Vegas is the only one that's going to be able to get to this, and you see full extension there, and he's able to punch that one wide for a corner.
This will be the first corner of the match for the Toros. Like Benzon be the one to take it. And of course, they scored off a corner in the 17th minute last week, and that 1-0 shutout over Phoenix Rising.
See Koki Vegas and Kisner having some words with each other, and the official gets in the middle here. It looked like Kisner was trying to play a little tight against Vegas as they were setting up. You see Kinzer shaking his head saying, I didn't do anything here.
Vegas going to be right in the middle of that 6-yard box, and there's a big crowd there. This ball comes in right in that area. It's over the head of Vegas, but goes out of play. Francois was trying to get to it at the far post. This goes out of play, but I believe may have been touched by a defender, so it's going to be a corner kick at the other side now.
It's like Elijah Martin got up and got just a little bit of his head to that one to make sure it clears out. We'll get another look right here. That one flying in. Yeah, that's Elijah Martin. He's able to get out and head that one away.
Yeah, that ball was, I didn't see that initially. That ball was very well placed. You could see Francois was right there. They have saved a goal there. And Davila will take this from the opposite end, going to put this in toward the net, and a header that just goes wide. That was Nodarse extending his 6'2" frame to try to put that one home. And going to be goal kick here for San Diego.
Nice job defensively there by Charlie Guzman. He stays right on the hip of the 6'2" Nodarse, follows him all the way through and prevents him from being able to just knock that one down and redirect.
We mentioned the last time these met, it was a Toros 3-2 win back on May 13th. Toros had goals from Robert Coronado, Cristiano Francois, and Ricky Ruiz, all three in the starting lineup tonight. Then Adrian Pettis and Joe Corona scored last time out for San Diego Loyal. Here's a chance here for Bodley moving in against Derek's going to shoot far post. I think that may have skipped off the upright as well. This will be a throw-in. A very close call there as Bodley really got this accurate shot here from his left foot. Oh no, it did not hit the post.
Pushed it just a little bit wide, but that's 3 opportunities now we've seen where the Loyal have been able to push that ball to Bodley on that left side. And he's had some room to operate, something the Toros have to keep an eye on. If he can find someone to assist him getting into a crossing position, that could be a phenomenal opportunity for the Loyal.
Adrian Pettis, who scored against the Toros back in May, he's in the lineup here tonight. Joe Corona, who also scored, is on the bench this evening. So both teams have shown they're capable of producing opportunities at the opposing net. 2 players collide here. That's Pimentel with, it looks like, Guido. Guido getting the worst of that, but this will be a free kick for San Diego. Guido there now smiling. He's from San Diego, 29 years old. The Loyal, who debuted back in 2019, been successful almost each year. They missed the playoffs that first year, made the playoffs each of the last 2 years, and are certainly in playoff contention again this year, entering tonight in 5th place. Top 8 spots will make the postseason playoffs. Charlie Adams knocked down from behind. Toros able to dispossess him. Galindres sends it off to the left wing, and now Galindres on the give and go will go after it again. And a chance here for the Toros if they can get numbers downfield. Sends it in top of the box. Guido able to deflect that one, and it goes to the foot of Moshomban. And he gets it out to Guido, and San Diego able to start up their own attack once more here in minute 26.
As you mentioned, Mark, the Loyal getting their start in the 2020 season has been a fantastic member of the USL since then, kind of on a little bit of a song swung right now as they continue to make their presence known in the West. This will be their final season of USL competition. So it was recently announced that they have returned their franchise rights back to the USL. Their current home, Torero Stadium, is not commercially sustainable for the club. USL will release some details on those transfer rights in the coming months. But before any of that will happen, the Loyal have a chance to continue to put their stamp on the 2023 campaign. Another successful playoff push if they can keep up the kind of play we've seen this evening.
You can see Pimentel sent the ball out of play to concede the corner kick. This will be the second for the Loyal. Coming in toward Derek, comes out to give it a 2-fisted punch, and then headed out there by the captain Torres. And this sparking the attack here. Here's Francois, has a lot of speed to burn. Trying to go up against 2 markers, able to beat them both, and Vegas forced to come out, and a shot save made there by Vegas. Vegas came out and closed that angle after Francois was able to beat 2 markers.
And Francois showing some real grit with that speed. He battles through 2 defenders. It is hard to outrun somebody with the ball at your feet. He's able to do that and then plays through the contact to get himself into a striking position. Look what a phenomenal job that was by Vegas, though, to come out, make himself as wide as he could and prevent Francois from getting a clean angle at the net before any Toros can come back to give him an assist on the backside.
Yeah, it was really good technique there by Vegas, both to close the angle and then, yes, to not only make himself big, but he had the 5-hole covered as well with his right knee. Block that out, and it's a corner kick here for the Toros. It's going to be a short corner. Working this into Pinzon. Had 7 goals last year, and his shot goes wide, well wide, and it'll be a throw in here for San Diego. I think it was more of a pass than a shot, actually, to be fair to him.
Pizjuan was kind of midway between two things there. He could try to bend that toward the net. He decided at the last minute to try to just drop that in the corner of the box and to give somebody else a chance to settle and redirect, but that carried a little more than I think he anticipated that it would. Ends up trickling out.
Almost 2/3 of the way through the first half. No scores yet. Seen a lot of threats at each team's net. In terms of shots on target, Toros have 2. San Diego has 1 right now. And then overall shots is 4-3 in favor of the Toros. See Derek forced to clear that one well now. Derek, experienced keeper, 34 years old, out of Houston, 6'3". The Toros' all-time leader in saves, and in fact this year is having a terrific year. Came in ranked 8th in saves in the USL Championship, and 9th in clean sheets. He has 6 there.
Brings himself very close to a pretty heavy career milestone as well. Coming into this match, he only needed 10 more saves to reach 200 regular season saves in the USL. I mentioned he's picked up 1 of those already on the evening.
You could see a hydration break being called right now. We did talk about that humidity, and you can see the a lot of perspiration on a lot of the players right now, and we're not even 30 minutes in. But yeah, Derek with 1 save so far. If he can generate 9 more, he could reach that magic 200 here tonight. .88 degrees here, the temperature, but the humidity was exceedingly high at 66%. So for San Diego, they've been at home for quite a while. They've been at home for 5 consecutive matches. This is their first road game since July 14th. That was a 5-0 demolition over Colorado Springs. In fact, they came in with a 3-game unbeaten streak on the road, but that was back in July. We'll see if that momentum kind of carries over here. Tonight, they begin the first of 4 of their next 5 matches being away from home. And for the Toros, it's kind of the opposite. They are on the second of a 3-game homestand. After this, they'll go on the road for 4 of their next 5. So vital that they pick up points here at home, where they've been very strong as of late, before they hit the road for much of September.
I want to mention the Loyal have been pretty successful on the road this season. You mentioned their relatively long home streak before hitting the road again, but on the year they're 4-3-4. Toros find themselves at home at 4-3-5, so it's kind of a coin flip here at HEB Park about which team can take control. The Toros, of course, picking up the victory, as we mentioned, back in May out in San Diego. Loyal have a chance to return the favor here from HEB Park.
We were talking earlier about Tyler Derrick, his milestone that he could approach tonight. One of the San Diego players also approaching a milestone as well, potentially. That's Charlie Adams, their captain.
It just needs 2 assists. He has 28 right now. 30 is kind of the mark he's looking for, 30 regular season assists. He could very easily pick that up within the next couple of matches here for San Diego, and I'm sure everyone on the Loyal side would be really happy to see him reach that mark, because that means they're scoring goals, tuning their push toward a strong finish here to the 2023 campaign.
They are a very strong team, one of the league's best when it comes to scoring goals. Came in tied for 3rd this evening. And there's C. Bodley sends this one inside. And then a ball passed up in the middle, and a shot and a score, and it's a goal by San Diego Loyal. And how about that? That was Ronaldo Damas. Had the ball come down, settle at his feet, and quickly snapshotted it to the left side of the net, and it's 1-0 San Diego.
Toros are not happy. You see Eric Pimentel pushing his arms out. He's telling the official, he pushed me down. That's why he had room to operate to put a strike on that. Take another look at the replay here. That one is bounced up into a spot.
You do see Pimentel take a spill there.
Couple of good angles here. It looks like you can see Damas kind of push a little bit out as Pimentel is sliding past him. Don't know if there's enough there to make an argument that an official would agree that you were pushed out of the way on that one.
That was an assist by Moshoban as well, who sent that ball into the middle, and it popped up in the air, and you saw there Damas doing the rest, picking up his 7th goal of the season, which moves him alone into 2nd place on the team. Evan Conway, who did not start tonight but is on the bench, leads the team with 10 goals. In fact, is the 7th leading scorer in the entire USL Championship. We might see him somewhere in the second half. And Moshoban, by the way, picking up his team-high 6th assist. He entered tonight 5th in the USL Championship in assists and got another helper there. Moshoban and Damas teaming up as Vegas here, again, well outside of his net, sends this one. Helps start the attack. There's Guido there. Guido out to Bodley on the left wing, and he'll send it inside. It's redirected, and it's another goal. It's 2-0 San Diego, and they have had lightning strike twice here in the mid part of the first half. This time it's Moshoban.
Just another phenomenal job of attacking with aggression for the San Diego Loyal. They dropped that off here on the near side to Bodley. He's got some room to operate, as he has had here in the first half, and he put a spectacular cross right to the feet of Moshoban, and he puts that in the back of the net before Tyler Derrick even sees it coming.
Moshoban with his 5th goal now. Just picked up his 6th assist a moment ago. It was Bodley with the assist here.
That was lightning quick. You see, that's in the back of the net before Tyler Derrick even sees it coming. The Loyal are really starting to flex some of that muscle offensively right here. 2 very quick strikes coming off of that hydration break.
And we saw a look at a forlorn Derrick there in the Toros net. Not much he could have done with about either goal. They both came in from in close. Like the Toros defense, which played so well last week against Phoenix Rising, has shown a lot of shakiness here tonight. Seen some close calls as this one's headed out of play. It was intended for Francois. Bodley sends it out, so it'll be a corner kick now coming up for Rio Grande Valley. But the Toros, remember their back line last week against Phoenix Rising to the occasion so many times, and tonight a little bit of a letdown. This will be Davila to take this one from the right side. He can use his left foot to send this one in toward the net. Vegas stays back. It's headed up and over the bar. I think that was the defense that got that one, so it'll be another corner kick here coming up now for the Toros. They trail 2-0 here. About 10 minutes and change left in half number 1. Pimentel sends it to Pinzon. It's blocked out of play before Pinzon can center it. That was Colin Martin who came over. Martin out of Chevy Chase, Maryland. Midfielder, and this will be the 5th corner now for Rio Grande Valley. Inside it goes, punched out by Vegas. And then a pass to Francois who shoots, and that's blocked by Adams. I think that was Ruiz who came up and deftly passed it over to Francois on the left wing, and Francois' shot blocked out of bounds.
That's going to be a extremely deep throw in for the Toros in Pinzon. Very deftly deflected away by the Loyal.
Toros don't have anybody in front. San Diego dispossesses them, sends it downfield. Kinsner with it. His pass deflected, intercepted, and now here's a chance for Damas. Damas will shoot from up top, and it hits the side netting. So another close call there. A good opportunity for San Diego. And Damas, the Haitian, racing up the right wing, got off a powerful shot. It went into the net. Side net.
This looks like a moment where Rio Grande Valley just needs to find the opportunity to regroup. They are reeling against this San Diego Loyal attack, and you can see the pressure really starting to build, and the Toros making uncharacteristic mistakes defensively. And the Loyal are just capitalizing at every opportunity.
And we're going to see a yellow card issued against the Toros. I believe Nodarce. It is Nodarce out of Havana, Cuba. We'll see the replay here.
Very close attack right here, and I think the expectation there is that Nodarce would play the ball away a little quicker. He's a little slow to get down and ends up taking the ball off of the foot of the attack rather than the ball itself.
Nodarce picking up his just his 4th yellow of the year. And this will be a free kick. See Adams there. Adams, who's an Englishman, 29 years old, midfielder. And he's going to put this in place, and it toward the net. It goes to Damas in front. Derek comes out, and Derek makes an initial save. Follow-up shot goes over the bar. But Derek doesn't like that at all. It was a point-blank shot that luckily went over the bar for the Toros.
See the Loyal scratching their head. They almost had a 3rd goal there and arguably should have had that 3rd goal. Guzman just put way too much on that. He could have tapped it and that probably would have found the back of the net easily. Another spectacular strike. Damas almost gets that pass, and then Guzman did not have to put nearly as much into that as he did.
Yeah, Damas didn't quite get the shot, was moving in for that, and then Derek was able to beat him to the ball. And then the rebound you saw went to the foot of Guzman, who simply skied it when he had the goal mouth beckoning. 40th minute now. The last 10 minutes totally dominated by San Diego Loyal. They put in 2 goals, almost had a 3rd. This is Stoneman. Stoneman out of St. Charles, Illinois. Send it back to his keeper, Vegas. Vegas coming in with his 22nd game, came in with 45 saves, 5 clean sheets. Played pretty well so far this evening. Loyal forced to play it back to Vegas. Francois was closing in. Vegas had to quickly get rid of that one. Loyal not done yet here in this first half. This is Adams. Adams weaving through traffic ahead to Damas. He's onside, goes off of his front foot, was unable to settle that one the way he wanted. Derek comes out to intercept. Shoban fighting over this one with Francois. Saw Francois go down. No call there as the play continues. 41st minute here at HEB Park. As Elijah Martin passed over to the right side. Another attack brewing here, tipped away, and then Kinsner clears. Momentarily, it'll go to the foot now of Francois. Francois, who is out of Haiti, has a lot of speed moving down to the right wing as the ball comes up the left side. Brought up there by Ruiz. Now it's Benzon. Benzon looking around for help, has forced to kind of play it back. Is hoping to be more aggressive there. It goes to Davila now. Davila's pass intercepted by Guido. Davila came in number 3 in the league in chances created at 51 entering tonight. Is twice as many as the second place person on the Toros team. He is frequently involved in the offensive attack. The ball lifted over to Guzman, who's going to chest it forward. Guzman, who's out of Mexico, 29 years old, sends it back to the Adams in the midfield. Now Stoneman. Loyal taking their time on this build-up. I'll send it to Bodley over on the left side. Bodley, who's already picked up his 5th assist this evening. Chance here. Guido's going to send this one inside. It was headed out there. That was Pimentel was able to head it, and the ball Finds its way back to Derek. Off a back pass, he's unable to pick it up. Out of the foot of Guzman. And Bodley forced to retreat all the way back to the back line here for the Loyal.
It's been interesting to watch over the last 5 or 6 minutes of play. The Toros came in as the team that had kind of found most of its success by applying pressure, forcing mistakes, and capitalizing on them. But that's been the Loyals' real gift on the first half this evening. They forced the Toros into some really uncomfortable spots, and as the Toros made mistakes, the Loyal have really capitalized.
We saw an opportunity there that brewed for Adrian Pettis, and Derek charging out of his net to send that one clear. Make sure there was no opportunity there for Adrian Pettis, who scored a goal last week, and of course scored a goal last time he played the Toros back in May. Came into tonight with 6 goals. Here's Guido. Guido trying to chest this one down, has 2 defenders on him. It goes out of play though, and it'll be San Diego's throw in here in the 44th minute. No indication yet as to how much time will be added.
Guido's still just a little slow to get up. He's stretching down there.
Getting an early indication that it might be 3 minutes added. See Guido shaking up a bit there. Again, out of play. Yeah, you're right, Brian. Yeah, the Loyal have been doing it with using the Toros playbook, basically, to get on top in this game here. Just as the Toros took that 2-0 lead against San Diego back in May, eventually winning 3-2. Now another player down here for the San Diego team.
I think that's Damas. He took one of those clearing kicks from Rio Grande Valley, square to the upper chest. There's the indication we'll get 3 minutes of stoppage time added back in.
There we go, for 3 minutes. And Damas there, just 23 years old. Picked up his 7th goal this season already. Francois upended, and the ball played forward by Ricketts. Ricketts, who's out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. The Darce with the header. Pimentel trying to get turned. Excuse me, that's Benzon. And now we're going to have a free kick awarded here for the Toros. Benzon able to pick up the foul there. Now the captain Torres send it to the left side. Toros trying to get something here. If they can get one back before halftime, be right back in this and carry the momentum into the second half. And here they've won a free kick in a good position. Thomas comes to stand over that one. Sometimes players will do that just to prevent a quick restart. Then once the referee tells them to move back to 10 yards, they'll do that to avoid the booking. Looks like Penzone or Davila to take this one. 9 moments of the first half. Toros looking to get one back. Penzone sending this one in. It's flicked on and just wide of the right post.
Yeah, Kisner was there. He was able to get his head to it, not put it on. Koki Vegas comes over and take his time picking this ball up and getting it restarted here. Look at the strike here. It's placed really well. A flick of the head there, but it ends up coming wide right. Defensively, a really strong showing for San Diego here in the opening half. But more impressive in their defense has been the pressure they've created offensively. This has been an absolute clinic by San Diego.
Wasn't quite certain who got the flick on for the Toros. Might have been Ruiz. Looked a little bit like him with that back flick of the head. And we're almost at 3 minutes elapsed here in stoppage time. 2-0 our score. San Diego Loyal in front. Long pass. Bodley trying to get to it. It's headed back by Ricketts to Derek's hands. And there's the whistle, and we are at the end of half number 1. And 2-0 our score by San Diego Loyals. They get 2 goals 2 minutes apart, and they've got a decisive lead heading into the locker room. And the Toros looking to regroup in the locker room and come back firing in the second half. Meanwhile, at halftime, we're going to have a look around the USL Championship, plus some highlights and stats, plus the standings and schedules coming up for these teams. All that coming up here at halftime. And right now, you're watching USL Championship Soccer on ESPN+.
At HEB, we're inspired by Mexico. The colors, the flavors, and aromas. And we want to share them with you. So we created the HEB Mi Tienda family of products with authentic Mexican flavors. From savory marinated meats, frijoles and queso, to tamales, soft drinks, and more. HEB Mi Tienda brings you the traditional flavors you love. One more reason here, everything's better.
Why choose Lone Star National Bank for your business? Because no other bank does more to support local businesses. In fact, we are the #1 lender in the Valley to small businesses. We put money to work here in our community.
That helps our local businesses grow.
Creating more jobs.
And more opportunities for all of us.
Working together.
Together.
We do what the little banks can't and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
When it comes to our familia, we all have our own flavor and expression. At Tequila de Corralejo, we believe sharing our individuality is what makes gathering together so fun. Here's to those who stand tall and share their passion.
Espinos Tires on FAR 83 has been serving the Valley for over 30 years. We offer a wide assortment of tires, wheels, and auto parts. Let us build your dream vehicle with only $49 down. No credit required.
Did you know when you bank with Lone Star National Bank, you're investing in your community? By creating jobs that stimulate our local economy, creating success that we share with our community. In fact, Lone Star National Bank donates more money and more volunteers to more causes than all other area banks combined. We do what the little banks can't, and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
San Diego has the lead 2-0 here at HEB Park. Time for our halftime report.
Special thanks to our halftime vodka sponsor, Live Oak Vodka, the official vodka sponsor of the Rio Grande Valley Toros. We wrap up week number 24. Let's take a look at our USL weekly feature.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league, the USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer, bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Yo, roll it down.
I am.
You don't need a car to listen to Sirius XM. You can listen anywhere. You know that, right?
What? Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio.
Kevin, you could use your phone.
What?
Alexa, play Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio on Sirius XM.
What?
This is how I know you're getting old. I guess that was it.
What?
It's quite a week in Week 24 across the USL. We'll take a moment to look at your team of the week. There's a good look at them right there. Your player of the week belongs to Miami FC. Joaquin Rivas had himself quite a performance. He's recorded his first hat trick as a professional to power his team to their away victory against Hartford Athletic. The El Salvador International helped the visitors for their fourth win in the last 5 matches with that phenomenal hat trick, scoring in the 34th minute and then twice again in the second half. He is the 7th player to record a hat trick in the championship this season. So congratulations to him and everyone else who made that team of the week in Week 24. Among the 2 teams you see on the pitch here in Edinburgh this evening, the Toros and the San Diego Loyal. One recognition for the bench team. Adrian Perez of the San Diego Loyal found his way into that recognition for week number 24. Elsewhere around the USL, some exciting news sprouting up across a number of major teams. Mexico United had quite an announcement to make as they've now signed defender Zico Bailey, pending league and federation approval. He joins the team after having spent some significant time with FC Cincinnati of the MLS and previously having been a member of San Diego Loyal FC here in the championship. Bailey made his debut to the championship back in 2017 as a member of LA Galaxy 2 and subsequently attended Cal State Fullerton before starting his professional career in Scandinavia. Also, Birmingham Legion have some exciting news to make as their forward, Nico Brett, became just the 4th player in USL Championship history to record 75 regular season goals. He did so in the 189th regular season minute last Saturday as his side picked up the 2-0 victory against Louisville City. Now, what makes that so important, though, is he continues to climb up the all-time scoring list in the USL. He currently finds himself alone in 5th place. The Jamaican has averaged a goal every 176 minutes of USL play since making his debut back in 2017. It's a mark that puts him 7th in strike rate among players with at least 50 goals in the championship across the regular season. Take a look at your schedule right now. Games in action on the day. Charleston has the 1-0 lead over Memphis late in the second half. Oakland's got a 1-0 lead over Louisville. That's in the 61st minute. You know what's going on right now between San Diego and Rio Grande Valley. A couple of finals to discuss already. El Paso, who's just ahead of Rio Grande Valley in the standings in the West, they get that 2-0 victory over Hartford. Indy 11 had a 2-1 victory over Loudoun, and Tampa Bay Rowdies pick up the 2-0 victory over Miami FC. A couple games to look at later on in the evening. New Mexico is at Tulsa. San Antonio is at Pittsburgh. Monterey Bay is in Colorado. Phoenix is at Las Vegas. And Orange County finds themselves in Sacramento.
Gives us a chance to take a look at these schedules now. First of all, starting with San Diego Loyal. You can see what they've got coming up.
They're going to be on the road just a little bit. After this matchup, they're going to return home. They'll host Birmingham FC on September 3rd. Then they're on the road for the next 3 at Charleston, at Louisville City, and at Monterey Bay, where they'll get a chance to return home to host Las Vegas on September 24th. The other side for the Toros of Rio Grande Valley, they've been home quite a bit. They're going to have some road games ahead of them now. They will host San Antonio FC in a follow-up of that Copa Tejas. That's to end the month of August. And then they are on the road, the 2nd against Phoenix Rising, September 9th at Hartford. They'll come home to face Birmingham Legion on the 17th and then head out to Indy for September 24th.
Yeah, and we should point out that San Antonio FC match is just 4 days away. That'll be a midweek. That'll be a Wednesday game. So we'll take a look at the standings now in Group West, and we can see where the Loyal and the Valley stand.
Yeah, so you see Rio Grande Valley currently finds himself just out of the playoff picture in 9th place with 31. Phoenix will actually come up a little bit. They'll have 35 points with the end of their victory earlier on this evening. So Rio Grande Valley is keeping a real close eye on what's happening with Phoenix. No matter what happens with Phoenix, that could have a huge impact on the Toros' chances here as the Toros try to claw their way back into those standings. As we mentioned, San Diego currently with the 2-0 lead has a chance to push themselves to 40. That'd put them in a tie for 3rd place as they continue to show that though this may be their final season in the USL, they've still got some noise to make.
And I think you had mentioned last week that Rio Grande Valley was starting to run out of games and probably needs to win, about 6 of their last 9 if they're going to get in.
Yeah, if you look at the numbers for Rio Grande Valley in their playoff push, the 3 times they've been to the playoffs, it's required them to get to about 50 points is that threshold. They're at 31 right now. So, yeah, they need wins, and they need them at every opportunity to ensure they find themselves in a playoff spot.
Or at least, indeed, to get some kind of result, and that's what they're hoping for tonight. 2-0 our score. We're moments away from the second half kickoff. Let's take a break, and we'll come back with some highlights. You're watching USL Championship Soccer on ESPN+.
At HEB, we're inspired by Mexico. The colors, the flavors, and aromas. And we want to share them with you. So we created the HEB Mi Tienda family of products with authentic Mexican flavors, from savory marinated meats, frijoles and queso, to tamales, soft drinks, and more. HEB Mi Tienda brings you the traditional flavors you love. One more reason here, everything's better.
Why choose Lone Star National Bank for your business? Because no other bank does more to support local businesses. In fact, we are the #1 lender in the Valley to small businesses. We put money to work here in our community.
That helps our local businesses grow.
Creating more jobs.
And more opportunities for all of us.
Working together.
Together.
We do what the little banks can't and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
When it comes to our familia, we all have our own flavor and expression. At Tequila de Corralejo, we believe sharing our individuality is what makes gathering together so fun. Here's to those who stand tall and share their passion.
Espinos Tires on FAR 83 has been serving the Valley for over 30 years. We offer a wide assortment of tires, wheels, and auto parts. Let us build your dream vehicle with only $49 down. No credit required.
Did you know when you bank with Lone Star National Bank, you're investing in your community? By creating jobs that stimulate our local economy, creating success that we share with our community. In fact, Lone Star National Bank donates more money and more volunteers to more causes than all other area banks combined. We do what the little banks can't, and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
And we're back here in Edinburgh, Texas at HEB Park. And
Mexico.
Brian, take us through the highlights.
Plenty of opportunities on both sides in the first half, but it was San Diego Loyal that found the key strikes coming in here. Take a look at the drop here early for San Diego Loyal. Nice heavy strike, but Tyler Derrick steps up big, and the clearance ends up coming away from that back line of Rio Grande Valley. Take a look at Taylor Davila here. He puts a nice strike forward. Goki Vegas stands in the way. Davila tries to send that one forward. Look at Vegas going full extension here as he is lights on offensively here. This is the opening goal. A spectacular job by Damas of coming forward, playing around Eric Pimentel and getting the strike. And it seemed like just seconds later, the Loyal capitalized again on a little bit of a slow play there from the defense of Rio Grande Valley. As Moshaban is able to push that one into the back of the net here. Damas had another pretty clean-looking opportunity here. It ends up being knocked down. Get a look at Charlie Guzman, who put just a little bit too much under that, and it floats up. But the Loyal put on an offensive clinic, striking quick, striking fast, striking early. They find themselves up 2-0 headed into the second half.
And just about a minute and a half away from the kickoff for half number 2. And looking at some of your stats here, San Diego Loyal out shooting the Toros 8-6 overall, and then shots on target favor the Loyal 3-2. Of course, 2 of those 3 going into the back of the net. Toros have had plenty of opportunities from the corners. However, they have a 6-2 lead in the corner kicks. Foul 7 on San Diego and 4 on the Toros. Each player had a man booked, and each keeper has 2 saves.
I think if you're Rio Grande Valley, you come out here in the second half and you say, we're not going to try to overcome a 2-0 deficit. We've got to start much smaller. Get some more consistent scoring opportunities. Do not allow the Loyal to force you into positions where you're giving the ball up in clean scoring opportunities. Once you found success in that regard, start looking for scoring, striking opportunities. You've got to take it step by step. That 2-goal lead could seem overbearing if you try to look at it from the big picture. You've got to go much smaller and start to win in those small aspects of the second half and see if that leads you to a premier scoring opportunity.
Yeah, and I think the first thing you do is you need to stop the bleeding on defense. So, get your defense together and make sure everyone is on point as far as on defense. And then I think another thing you might try is, even though it's out of their comfort zone a little bit, is maybe take a little more possession if you're the Toros. Hold on to the ball a little bit more and then force San Diego to have to think about defending a little bit more. Get your defense a chance to relax. You hold on to the ball and just be patient. You still got 45 minutes, and you can set up some good opportunities.
3 substitutions to open the second half here for Rio Grande Valley as Frank Lopez, Gabriel Benitez, and Ian Seto all come in to open the second half here for Rio Grande Valley. Coach Wilmer Cabrera tries to give his team a shot in the arm. Those are 3 fresh sets of legs and 3 opportunities to score after his team looked really kind of lackadaisical in their offensive attack in the first half.
And you see Damas there, almost an opportunity. Tried to get inside of Nadarse, who kind of held him back, allowing Pimentel to sweep the ball clear. And a long pass by the Toros intended for Frank Lopez, who just came out there. Goes out of play. San Diego will have the throw in. Yeah, Lopez, another one of those Cuban players, along with Nadarse. He's 28-year-old forward from Cuba. The other men, Benitez is from Venezuela, and Settle is from Miami.
One thing to watch with both Seto and Benitez, they're both really good passers, both in excess of 82% passing efficiency on the year. As you mentioned, Frank Lopez does have the ability to score. This will be his 18th appearance of the season. He's got 2 goals and 2 assists to this point.
Oshaban looks in obvious pain there on the pitch at the moment. We're going to see another substitution here. We're going to see, looks like Francois is going to be subbed off for the Toros.
This may be a late recognition of the players that were subbed on, because I think Francois came out for Frank Lopez. It appears that Jose Torres was the one that came out for Gabriel Benitez. The officials just catching up now on the substitution list.
Yeah, you're right. Oshaban, taking a shot on the upper thigh area there.
Bended it right in there. It looked like Benitez was trying to cross that back across, and Oshaban steps in front of it.
Certainly had a 66% humidity out there early tonight, so players dealing with a lot out there. 88 degrees, a high today, 97, with 67% humidity now at this point.
And that heat index of 97 degrees is nothing to play with, especially here in the weather. And the humidity has been a little different here in the Rio Grande Valley the last week than we had seen throughout the year. It's an area that had not had a tremendous amount of rain over the last month and a half, and then we had 2 or 3 good days of heavy rain that keeps that humidity nice and high.
So 48th minute now here in the second half at HEB Park. Toros in orange, San Diego with the green tops. And Toros in control at the moment with Nodarse having the ball at his foot. Goes inside. They're able to get turned a little bit. The Toros work it over to Ruiz. Ruiz has a man to his left. That's Benitez. Sends it inside, and it's poked away from Frank Lopez. Then a shot from distance. And how about that? And the Toros are right back in it. It's game on here at HEB Park as the Toros from the top of the 18 slam one into the back of the San Diego net and have their first goal.
Jonathan Ricketts, right place, right time. That cross travels all the way through the box untouched. Ricketts steps forward from outside the box and says, hey, there's no one around me. I can put a ball in the net here, and is able to push that one right over the top of Koki Vegas. Vegas just not able to see that attack before it had slipped past. Just like that, Rio Grande Valley have cut that deficit in half, and in a position now to apply some real pressure to the Loyal.
So 2-1 our score. And the crowd has gotten back into it here at HEB Park. And here's Davila on the move again. That goes through the wicket of Lopez. And then the Loyal forced to simply play this one out to give up the corner kick. You can see the smoke out there, the kind of orange-colored smoke from the celebration of the first goal is still out there. Here's another look at the goal.
Nice long strike from Jonathan Ricketts. And the Toros, throughout the year, have had some real success from being able to take strikes from a longer distance rather than trying to get into that mix in the middle of the box. And Ricketts takes advantage of the opportunity very well.
Ball headed out by Guzman. Toros still with a chance here. They're going to chip this one all the way to the left side. That's where Pinzon is. Now finds Davila. Davila trying to work his way between two defenders. Damas keeps it from going out of play, and he's going to clear it upfield. The Toros putting on all kinds of pressure here in the opening moments of the second half. Made 3 substitutes to kind of provide a little spark plug out there for their offense, and it's worked. Down 2-1, and now with the opportunity building here. Cicero sends it back to Benitez. Benitez, 29-year-old defender. Inside was Guido, who did a little sliding tackle there to intercept the ball. That one last touched by Pettis, or they're going to say it was last touched by the Toros. So throw in here for the visitors. No doubt what might be going through the minds a little bit of the San Diego Loyal players. They had leads twice against New Mexico United last week. Both times New Mexico United able to equalize. That game ended 2-2. In fact, that's the kind of an odd quirk. If you like fun facts, that was the 5th consecutive draw between those two clubs.
Yeah, they've yet to ever defeat each other. They just get draw after draw after draw.
Interesting thing. Here's Bodley. Bodley, left footer, and that was curling, but doesn't curl all the way in. Derek forced to go to full extension on that one. And a missed shot, and San Diego says, we're not going away.
Mentioned early on, the San Diego Loyal team top 5 in the USL in goals scored on the year. You cannot sit back and expect them just to let off the gas. They're a team that loves to score, and they can do so in a hurry. Toros saw that in the first half. 2 quick goals gave them that early lead.
Here the Toros win the ball here at midfield. They'll move it back to the back line. Darce finds Ruiz. Ruiz, he came over 2 years ago from a League One side, Chattanooga Red Wolves. He's found himself a home here with the Toros. The Toros go on to this one. Galindras couldn't quite play the ball because I think it was in an offside position. The Toros send this one inside, trying to get turned. Another pass is blocked in front by San Diego's tight defense. And now we've got a free kick awarded to the Rio Grande Valley Toros. Or let me correct myself, it's going to be San Diego's free kick.
It's a little change of methods here for Rio Grande Valley. They found themselves as the team wanting to be in control. They're standing over the ball. They're the team trying to build the attack forward here. Could be an adjustment that Coach Cabrera made at the halftime. He said allowing the opponent to be the aggressor and standing back and trying to force errors just not working for us right now. We have got to get over this ball if we're going to have an opportunity to really change this pace of play.
Yeah, if you let San Diego simply have possession and a 2-goal lead, they don't have very much incentive to try to score. It's mostly just protect the ball at that point. So the Toros switching tacks here, becoming much more aggressive, has certainly paid off and paid some dividends here in the early going. Here's another build-up. This is Seto. Had his first goal a couple of games back. He's going to let this one go, and it's going to be just wide to the left side of the San Diego net. Seto had one from distance 2 weeks ago. In a 2-1 loss, and here we see it here.
Just a little bit too much under that one, and it floats on him. I think any strike the Toros can get right now, they will take. You saw Jonathan Ricketts from distance was able to put a really nice one past Koki Vegas. Toros, anytime you're striking, that's going to be a positive right now against San Diego Loyal.
By the way, for Ricketts, his 3rd goal this season. And here's a chance for the Toros. Seto tripped up. The Toros had 4 men forward, and this is going to be a booking. Be the second one of the game against San Diego.
Yeah, Seto was in a pretty good opportunity to really apply some pressure here. Had the defender not wrapped up his leg, he's past them, and it's going to be a 3-on-2 opportunity for Rio Grande Valley.
Seto able to bring some speed out there. 26-year-old midfielder. And that's an excellent opportunity here for the Rio Grande Valley Toros, who have shown their prowess this year off the set piece. And Davila is going to chip this one forward into the box. There's Lopez there. His shot is blocked. Goes out. It's going to be a corner kick. Looks like Colin Martin who came over there to block that one. And the Toros will have their 8th corner of the match.
That yellow against San Diego Loyal was issued to Charlie Guzman, 5'10" defender out of Mexico. You'll see right here, he's the one that gets tied up there with Seto as he's trying to blow past him.
And we saw Vegas there punch this ball clear off the corner kick. Toros get a quick steal. Seto sends it in, headed up in the air, and then cleared out by Moshoban. Damas was trying to play that one, is able to kind of head it back to his teammate Bodily. And that'll be a throw in here for San Diego. Guzman, who moments ago picked up his first yellow of the year. Headed forward by the Toros. San Diego with some room to that right side. They get it to the foot of Pettis. Adrian Pettis has 6 goals this season. His pass was initially intercepted there by Benitez, but Moshoban gets it back for San Diego. This will be a throw-in for the Californians now. Throw in by Pettis. Now we got a shaken up player. That's Bettis there. Bettis 27 out of Los Angeles. Oh, he's in some obvious pain there on the pitch. Benitez who came in there to challenge.
Kind of got his leg rolled up on from behind. Benitez comes in, puts a little pressure against the back of that calf thigh.
The 6th foul called against the Toros. There have been 8 called against the visitors. This goes all the way back to Derek in the Toros net. Now to Pimentel. Pimentel, the beefy defender from Mexico, gets played upfield. And it's going to be a free kick here awarded to Rio Grande Valley as Frank Lopez was able to draw that foul. Lopez, who had 7 goals last year, dealing injuries for most of the early part of this year. Hasn't really been able to get on track. Does have 2 goals and 2 assists. Ian Pinzon leading the team with 7 goals from last season. Lopez able to get turned, was trying to get it to Ruiz, who was moving forward. Kicked out of play, still an opportunity here for Rio Grande Valley. Goes forward to Pinzon. Pinzon with 2 markers on him, will give it back to Benitez. He'll send it into the box. Lopez is there, a header that goes just wide. Actually, that's Galindres able to get his noggin on it. That's Lopez right there at the top of the 18. Galindres was further in. It's going to be a goal kicker for San Diego. Now we're going to see a substitute.
Damas will come out. He's going to be replaced by Joe Corona. Corona, the 33-year-old from Los Angeles, has created 35 opportunities on the year. It's also added 3 goals, so someone that can spark that offense for the San Diego Loyal, an offense that has really kind of slowed down here in the second half. It's been the Toros that are the aggressor, and perhaps Corona can give them a little bit of the juice they need to get back on the attack.
Yeah, Corona did have a goal against the Toros back in that first meeting this year, back on May 13th. He and Pettis. Here's Davila able to get turned, and now an opportunity here for Rio Grande Valley. Off to the right side, Galindres. Galindres had a hot foot as of late. A shot by Aceto is blocked in front. Galindres has 3 goals on just 4 shots on target. Had a goal negated due to offside back in the first half. There's Ricketts, the goal scorer for the Toros. Marking there against the Bodily. Minute 61 here at HEB Park. Still plenty of time for the Toros to find that equalizer. Loyal know it. They want to pick up that 3rd goal if they can. Elijah Martin forced to retreat. Going to send it back to his keeper. Vegas way out of his net, and 2 defenders closing in. Had to get rid of that. And now here's Davila with the attack, and he might give it a go from here as Vegas is still retreating. Decides not to. Finds Lopez. And Lopez to the right side. Man wide open there. That's Settle. He'll fire. And it's over the bar. I think it may have hit a defender and might be a corner kick here.
Corner kick indeed going to be awarded to Rio Grande Valley. They've got some opportunities here. They've got the Loyal back on their heels. And once again, nice job of playing this one through. Lopez thinks he's got some opportunities if he gives it into space. Seto gets there, and as Loyal begin to close in, his strike is sent off that shoulder. Now a set piece opportunity for Rio Grande Valley from the corner.
And here it comes in, blocked in front and kicked out of the box by the San Diego defense. Toros still have a chance for the build-up, however. Here's Benzon. Benzon out of Bellflower, California. Ball goes all the way back to Derek, who's way out of his net. He'll chip it over to the right side. Ball sent upfield to Guido. And then Pimentel over there to make sure Guido does not try to try something fancy as Derek was racing back toward his goal. Toros have a 5-game unbeaten streak here at HEB Park. Going to keep that intact here tonight. I think came in on a 4-game win streak as well. San Diego a chance here. Got 2 men in front there for Pettis. Pettis still going into the area, then had it knocked away by Ricketts. And now Ruiz, with possession, is able to patiently play it back to Ricketts, who will clear it upfield. The Toros putting on some pressure, trying to get the ball right back. Not wanting to give San Diego a chance to catch their breath or to set something up. Seto's had a lot of good opportunities as he gets the interception here. Since he's came onto the pitch at the beginning of the second half, has had a couple of good shots. Nineteenth appearance here for Settle. This is the 26th game for the Toros. Looking to win for the 2nd straight week after beating Phoenix Rising 1-0 last week here at HEB Park. And now Pettis. Pettis with a lot of space to work with. Then closing in. It's cleared by Davila. Was trying to get it to Moshaban. Moshaban with a goal back in the first half, and he assisted on the first goal. He's already had a big night. San Diego with the ball back. It goes back into the box. Derek retreats. That's Guido trying to get turned. He's got Benitez all over him, and now they're going to call a foul as Benitez being perhaps a little too aggressive.
So Gabriel Benitez just trying to establish possession and then continue to put pressure on Guido to prevent him from being able just to turn around and try to put something back in toward the box. But you see just a little too physical here. He gets in there and ends up taking the leg out from under Guido based upon where he puts the placement. Benitez says no, 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 but you can see very clearly there, once Guido had that leg planted, Benitez is the one that applies the pressure that causes it to fold.
Looks like Adams will be taking this one. A little bit out swinger. It's headed out by the Toros defense. Goes to the foot of Corona. Is going to chip it back in. And then Darce able to get his noggin on that one as Guzman was just frothing at the mouth, waiting for that one to settle down at his foot. San Diego Loyal building up once more. The Adams with it. He'll play it back. Now Colin Martin with it. Martin, who's out of Chevy Chase, Maryland, racing forward. Finds Elijah Martin. Martin steps up, will fire from the top of the 18. That's well wide, and it'll be a goal kick here for Rio Grande Valley.
Loyal not done yet. Once they get an opportunity to build exactly what they're doing, brick by brick, taking that strike away from Rio Grande Valley. It was all Toros over the first about 10 minutes here of the second half, but the Loyal starting to settle in a little bit more aggressively here, find themselves over the ball and keep the Toros scoring opportunities from materializing.
Yeah, this gives their defense a chance to catch its breath as they faced all kinds of pressure in the opening 15 minutes. And we've got a stoppage now as Guido looks like he's hurt way back at the Toros 18. And this has been a couple of times we've seen him kind of shaken up. He might get subbed out now.
A couple of Loyal players come over and grab bottles of water quickly while they check on Guido.
Guido out of San Diego. 1 assist this season, midfielder. The 67th minute now, about the halfway point of the second half. Toros still need an equalizer. It's going to be a drop ball here near midfield. And I think they're going to bring the substitute on before the drop ball.
Elliot Collier will come in now, 6'4" New Zealander.
They're planning a hydration break in just a couple of minutes, we're told. A hydration break back in the first half as well. That's 2 subs used by San Diego. They have 3 remaining. Toros have 2 subs remaining. Here's Corona. Corona sends it off to Pettis on the right side. Oh, nice sliding tackle there by Benitez. Pettis was able to keep that from going out and maintain San Diego's attack here. Inside, nice little turn there by Collier, just came onto the pitch. Send it back out for Pettis. Chance there for Corona up against Benitez. Corona able to get turned. Send this to the top of the box. Moshe Bond with it there. Drifts it back to Adams and now goes over to the left side. This is Bodley with it. Bodley, who assisted on the second goal this evening for San Diego. Picked up his 5th of the year. Here's Corona with a chance. Corona send this one forward. Was trying to get it to Moshe Bond. Instead, it was intercepted by Ricketts. Long pass intended for Settle will go out of play. San Diego's throw in here in minute 69.
See, the Loyal not pushing anything too hard. Once they have the ball, they've been pretty comfortable with slowing down, playing a little bit of keep away, catch their breath. Toros were coming in waves there to open the second.
Yeah, if the Toros don't have their equalizer by, say, the 80th minute, we might see them use their last 2 subs to try to plug in a little bit more offensive spark in there to try to get that equalizer. Here's Ruiz coming over to Mark Pettis. Pettis unable to get around him, is forced to retreat, and then pass there is intercepted by Benitez. It was the pass by Corona. And the Toros have it back now. They'll start moving numbers forward. Pimentel over to Nadarse. Four-man back line here for the Toros. They've kind of shifted into a 4-3-3. It's Pinzon. Now goes forward, intended for Pinzon, a little bit too far, and it's sent back by Elijah Martin of San Diego. Now San Diego quickly on the counter. Moshaban is upended. Play will continue as he ran into Nadarse, and the Toros have it back. 71st minute now here at HEB Park. Now Pinzon with some space to work with, has one marker, moves into the area, trying to generate an opening for a shot. Second marker closes in. Now he sends it, trying to cross it, and it goes off the back of a defender and out of play. It'll be a corner kick here for the home team. This will be the 10th corner of the match for the Toros.
Zona Naranja, those fans directly behind the net, pretty excited here. You hear their horns.
There it trickles through the box. And now we've got a penalty kick awarded. A penalty kick is going to be awarded to the Toros and a chance for them to equalize the game here.
Stoneman, I think, is the one called for the foul here. You see, he is animated. You can't believe a foul was called. Official says, no, no, no. No talk, no talk. I saw what I saw. Jonathan Ricketts, who has one goal on the evening, may have just created the best opportunity Rio Grande Valley could have for a second.
It was indeed Stoneman committed the foul here as we take another look at it.
Oh yeah, he cuts right out from under the legs of Ricketts. Ricketts is in the air and he comes under him, takes his legs out from under him. That actually twists Ricketts in the air, preventing him from getting the kind of hit on the ball he might have had the opportunity for. Once a player is in the air, they're considered defenseless. You cannot play through their body once they're airborne. That's where Stoneman picks up the foul.
And this will be Pinzon to take the penalty kick. Vegas dancing along the goal line. He can move laterally along that line as long as he doesn't come off the line until the ball is struck. So setting up for the penalty kick, and this would tie it up here if the Toros are successful. Here's Pinzon making his approach. A shot and a goal! And the Toros have tied it up here in minute 73 at HEB Park. Down 2-0. They've now come all the way back and tied the match.
What a change of fortunes for Rio Grande Valley. Down 2-0 at the half. It looked like San Diego Loyal had all the momentum. They were going to cruise to an easy victory here. The Toros had no answer. But what a change coming out of halftime. The Toros are the aggressor. The Toros are getting Toro opportunities. And Pinzon just completely fools Vegas. Rio Grande Valley 2-2. And if you're San Diego Loyal right now, you're scratching your head. You had a 2-1 lead late against New Mexico last time. And now look what happens. You have the 2-1 lead fairly late in the second half, and here against Rio Grande Valley, the Toros strike again. And that is the first penalty goal for the Toros in 2023.
First time this season, and they strike gold. And we're tied at 2. The Toros' aggression paying off here in this second half. Making 3 quick subs, including that man there, Seto, came onto the pitch at the start of the second half. And we're not done yet. Still about 17 minutes in stoppage time in front of us. And it's anybody's game at this moment. San Diego Loyal leading 2-0 early on. They led 2-0 at the break, and the Toros have tied it with 2 in the second half. Here's Ricketts now with it. Ricketts, who had 1 goal. Now Davila. They fire it over to Benitez, and he'll give it a shot. This is deflected, and then Vegas able to come out and play that one. He had Frank Lopez closing in. It looked like Corona got a piece of it. Long pass here, and this is going to force Derek to come out and play it. They were trying to get that to Adrian Pettis. There'll be a throw in here now for the visitors.
And Derek definitely cleared that. He put that about 10 rows up in the stands. And now we'll get that hydration break that we were looking for at about the 70th minute. And what a second half this has been for Rio Grande Valley, Mark, a team that was down 2-0 at the half, a team that had more questions than answers, it looked like, through the first 45 minutes of play. Now find themselves to be kind of in control. You see the look on Koki Vegas' face right there, the Loyal, feeling a little bit of desperation right here as they have seen 3 points slip right through their fingers.
Yeah, and when tied after 75 minutes, I was checking on the Toros. They are no wins, no losses, 4 draws this season when tied after 75. There we see Pimentel wearing the captain's armband after Jose Torres was subbed off at the start of the second half. Usual guys who wear the captain's band, Torres, Pimentel, and then Cabezas, and Cabezas unable to play tonight due to a red card suspension. See Moshaban right there, 28-year-old forward out of South Africa. Has 1 goal and 1 assist tonight already. Does he have more magic in his foot, though? An entertaining match here at HEB Park. 2-2 our score. And here's Pettis sends this one through, trying to get it to Moshaban. Nadarse clears it. Headed forward by Colin Martin. Out to the foot of Pettis once more. A little give and go. This goes to Moshaban. This is onside, and it's a goal. Loyal back in front, 3-2, in just moments after giving up the equalizer. They are back in front, and Moshaban has his 2nd strike tonight.
And it's something we talked about. You cannot rest on San Diego Loyal. Rio Grande Valley had showed some real grit to get themselves back into the 2-2 tie, and perhaps got just a little bit too confident, left some space to operate, and Moshaban and the Loyal come up big right here, pushing themselves back out ahead now at 3-2.
A nice little pass. It was Pettis initially. I want to say Collier, but I'm not certain about the assist there to Moshaban, who pushed that ball forward right to him. Offside flag stayed down. Toros were arguing about that. Certainly it was very close, and Moshaban getting his 2nd goal tonight and his 6th of the year. So that man having an excellent night. He's got right now 6 goals and 6 assists for the season. So still plenty of time for the Toros. Down 3-2 right now. They've been down 1-0 and 2-0. They came back and tied it. Now they find themselves trailing again, but still time remaining for them to get another equalizer. Goes to Settle. And kicked out of play by Guzman. This will be a Rio Grande Valley throw-in. Toro season high this year is 5 goals. Did that against El Paso. They've had 3 on 2 other occasions. Of course, one of those being against the San Diego club. They also had 3 against Miami in a 3-3 draw. This goes out of play. Last touch by San Diego. So this will be a season high tying 11th corner kick now for Rio Grande Valley. Comes the kick by Pinzon, and this is intercepted there by Vegas, who went the full extension to grab that one. Now appears shaken up as he came down awkwardly. And Vegas will be looked at. here in the 80th minute.
And Vegas jumps up into that crowd to collect that one, and I believe he actually comes down on a couple of his teammates. Nice to see him get back to his feet. You'll see right here on the replay, comes up, kind of lands right in between Moshaban Collier and Frank Nodarse. Way down, looking at that shoulder, looks like he took a pretty hard tumble.
That's always a tough spot for a keeper because you're trying to keep your eye on the ball, yet at the same time with your peripheral vision, you can see there's a cluster of bodies right there in that vicinity. And try to slip through in between people to get yourself up to catch that ball. It's harder than it looks. This is going to be a free kick here for San Diego Loyal now here in the 81st minute.
Yeah, Elijah Martin gets bumped a little too aggressively there.
Toros with 8 fouls. There have been 10 called on San Diego Loyal. Both teams came in averaging about 13 fouls a game. This one headed out by the Toros, and San Diego will have the ball at midfield. So Moshaban with 2 goals for the Loyal tonight. Damas has 1. Damas has been subbed out already. And then the Toros goals coming from Ricketts and Pinzon. Ricketts getting his 3rd this year, and Pinzon getting his 2nd goal. And the first penalty kick goal by any Toro this season. This is going to go out of play, and this will again be a throw in here for San Diego. I think a substitute now. Mike Shilaka coming down there.
Looks like Conway may be waiting to substitute in as well, so we may end up getting 2 substitutes for the Loyal.
That would leave them with 1. Yeah, Conway is their leading goal scorer. We talked all about Moshaban and Pettis and company, but Conway, who is out of Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin, actually leads the team with 10 goals this year, and he'll come onto the pitch now in place of Moshaban, who's had a terrific night, 2 goals and 1 assist. Conway, 6'5", by the way, very tall for a forward. And Conway getting his first touch right there. It goes out of play. Actually, last touch by a defender, so this will be a San Diego throw-in. You see, that's the second time I've seen Pettis start to do the throw-in and then drop the ball to allow one of his teammates to casually walk up, and you saw the Toros complaining that time about it. The time running against the Toros at the moment. As Conway with a nice little touch to Collier, the ball loose, and Derek has to come forward to grab that one. Close call, a bullet dodge there by the Toros. Conway, who just came onto the pitch, almost picked up an assist. Toros still have two subs remaining as Lopez draws the foul. And we mentioned San Diego has 1 sub left.
We're going to yellow issue to Corona there for kicking the ball away.
That would be his 5th of the year. Ball back in play. Toros trying to gain control on the left side. There's Lopez with it between 2 defenders. Ball comes to the foot of Pinzon now. Pinzon had the penalty kick a moment ago. Fires it back to Benitez. Into the mixer it goes, and it's cleared out by the San Diego defense. Pimentel from distance, and that's over the bar. Pimentel does have a couple of goals this year. So not afraid to let it rip. And he sees the opportunity. And I was mentioning earlier that defenders have contributed quite a bit to the Toros offense, especially compared to last year. I think they had just 2 goals from defenders all of last season. And tonight with Ricketts' goal, they've got 7 goals coming from defenders. As Conway with it, forced to play it back. Ruiz tried to send it forward, but it was blocked in front. Blocked by Corona it was, and now they're going to call a foul here. This will be a Toros free kick as Benitez is shaken up. Benitez may have caught part of that last kick in the face.
If not a kick, it may have been part of a boot to the face. It was quick to grab his face after sliding down on that one. Then look at the angle here.
Oh,
no,
knee.
it's a knee right to the jaw.
That's a solid bone right there into the jaw.
I think he probably had every reason to grab his face after that.
Well, he was touching his teeth as if they might be loose a little bit. Now I understand why. And here is Benitez again. Seems back to regular form, sends that one inside. Collier intercepted, was trying to move upfield, was dispossessed. It's Davila with it. 86th minute now here at H-E-B Park. Toros down by a goal, 3-2. An exciting topsy-turvy game here at Edinburgh, Texas between these two teams, both of whom feel they need the full 3 points tonight. Davila. Inside it goes to Pinzon. Trying to find space. He'll slip it forward. Galindras couldn't quite get to it. And Bodily will let that one go out of play. It'll be goal kick.
Played wonderfully there by Bodily. He doesn't have to play the ball, it just has to go out. What does he do? Well, he gets in the way to ensure that Galindras can't get there and somehow keep it in. Loyal protecting that 3-2 lead and showing they've got some real grit in their ability to play this ball in those key moments.
San Diego, if they can get all 3 points, had a chance to move into a tie with Orange County, which has been red hot as of late. They've been moving up the charts like a top 40 hit with 6 consecutive wins. They play later this evening. Oakland was the other team that was in 3rd place, was winning earlier this evening. Of course, the Toros know that the El Paso Locomotive has already won. It's moved 4 points ahead of them. So just to hold serve, they would need all 3 tonight. That might be getting a little bit of a tall order as we're in the 88th minute. They're down a goal. This ball popped all the way down to Nodarse. You can see the Toros now with just 2 men on the back line in front of Derek. Derek coming way out in essentially a sweeper role. This was sent into the box again. Lopez trying to get to this, and blocking him off the ball was Shalaka. Mike Shalaka, who's 23-year-old defender out of Israel, just came onto the pitch a few moments ago. And it looks like the Toros will now use up at least 1 more of their subs.
Coming now is Tomas Retendale, Argentinian.
Benzon, the one of the goal scorers tonight, came off. Benzon had the penalty kick goal for his 2nd strike of the year. 89th minute now. Should see a fair amount of stoppage time as well. Vitandole sends this one inside. Was over the head of Galindres and then cleared out by Guzman. Another opportunity here for the Toros. Vitandole, a good offensive and defensive player. They needed more for offense at the moment. Here's going to send this one in toward the goal, but Vegas is there to grab that one. No one really able to challenge there for the Toros. Galindres and Lopez, the 2 men closest. The 89th minute now here at H-E-B Park.
Should get a couple minutes of stoppage time added back on. Pressure is squarely back on the shoulders of Rio Grande Valley.
There, Conway was in an offside position, so didn't really make a play for the ball. Toros will restart the offensive attack now. We moved into the 90th minute. Here's Benitez. Venezuelan racing forward, sends it back to his teammate Ruiz. The Toros will try it on the right side.
Like we'll have 5 minutes of stoppage time added at the end of this one.
Pimentel finds Ritondale. Young Argentinian tried to sit it inside, has his pass blocked by Corona. Quick restart here by the Toros, knowing that time is running out. They trail 3-2. San Diego trying to return the favor. They suffered a 3-2 loss to these Toros back in May in California. And now we see it there. You have 5 minutes going to be added. See Vegas making his 22nd start here tonight. 6'2", 194-pound keeper out of Spain. Played well in the San Diego goal here this evening. Retreating back is Benitez. He'll send it to Derek. Derek will bring the ball as far forward as he can and then send it deep. Gonna get it to Seto now, crossing midfield. Toros advancing toward the attacking third. Here's Davila. Trying to find that opening and surgically send that ball in to a player trying to break in toward the San Diego net. This ball goes out of play, and we've also got a San Diego player shaken up.
Adrian Perez came up grabbing that right thigh. He was coming forward. Just a little bit of cramping.
Pettis leads the team, and he came in with 6 goals, leads the team in shots and also shots on target. Yeah, you can see he didn't collide with anybody, just simply may have cramped up or something. Ever see the back of Coach Wilmer Cabrera in all black here tonight. His son, who's the leading goal scorer for the Toros, must have been bittersweet for his father, who's the head coach of the Toros. See his son, who was being sent off to play for a club in Germany.
Yeah, and it's something they talked about this week. The younger Cabrera saying that his time with RGVFC was one he'll cherish forever, because specifically playing for my father was a dream I've always had, and I'm thankful to have had the opportunity to achieve that over the last several months.
Indeed, he had 7 goals, 3 assists for the Toros. And here is Ricketts. Ricketts going to send this one into the box, trying to get it to that far side. No one running onto the ball, however, for Rio Grande Valley. It's going to be a goal kick here for the visitors. We're about halfway through the stoppage time. I like Lopez is going to hopefully help them spot the ball to get this the restart going as quickly as possible. I think Cabrera's rights actually owned by a Colombian club, Real Cartagena. He'll be reassigned to a club in Germany.
Walder FC.
Now the Toros getting their offense restarted now. They're down to about 2 minutes. Down 3-2 here at HEB Park. 5-game unbeaten streak in jeopardy. And Davila finds Ritondale. San Diego, by the way, trying to extend their 3-game unbeaten streak on the road. Well, in this, their first road match since mid-July. They have come in, and they've been sharp here tonight. Here's Seto, able to get turned. Finds Ricketts. Ricketts will send it into the box. It's headed out. They're trying to find Nodarce there. And now return is kicked out by, looks like Conway's going to bid a yellow card as the ball had been kicked clear by Corona. That's the 4th San Diego player booked here tonight. Now tempers flaring a little bit here. Players may be probably some words being exchanged. Referee trying to calm everyone down. Even Tyler Derrick has come all the way up from his keeper spot at the other end of the pitch. But Pettis really fired up. And his teammates trying to prevent him from getting kicked out of the game. That could cost him a suspension for next week. Frank Lopez suggesting that the referee use her card. And this will likely be the last kick of the match here for the Tours. We take another look at it. See Conway fouling Pimentel, who is racing up from his center back spot. And then Pettis rolling over the ball. You can't quite tell if that was on purpose or not. Certainly the Toros thought he was trying to just hover over the ball to waste a little more time.
What's interesting is he's hovering over the ball as if he's cramped, but as soon as they try to take the ball away, he's to his feet quite quickly, ready to mix things up. They're saying the Toros may have had a point there. And we're past the 5-minute mark now, but we've had a lengthy stoppage here. They're consulting right now on what they've seen. We may end up seeing some cards off of that scrum. You see the officials chatting about what they saw out there on the pitch. Frank Lopez continuing to make his argument. While we walk, why don't we walk and talk? Yeah. And just like that, we'll see some players beckoned over.
Yeah, once they're beckoned, that usually is the sure sign that their name's going in the book. He's calling several players over.
May see a number of cards issued here. If Nodarse gets a card, it's probably going to be for what he does with his hands to the neck of Perez as they're being pushed away.
Now you saw Lopez kind of get upset there. As soon as the referee started talking, that probably means just warnings to everybody. And sometimes that's the better course of action, is simply give verbals, warnings all over the place, and that way, tempers tend to go down a little bit. You don't have anybody with any lingering things to be upset about if they get booked and somebody else doesn't.
Be the final scoring opportunity for either side right here. We had 5 minutes of stoppage time added. We are now at the 7-minute mark.
You see a 3-man wall being set up there, using the 2 of their tallest players in there, Collier and Conway. Conway 6'5" and Collier 6'4", using them in the wall there to take up as much space as possible. Of course, the Toros are far enough out that you could get a shot over the wall and get it to dip just in time. The perfect shot. Looks like Lopez or Davila. And it's going to be Davila with the hard shot blocked by the wall in front. Lopez a follow-up and a save made there by Vegas. And that may have saved all 3 points for San Diego, as Lopez had the opportunity with the follow-up after the wall got the initial block. And here's the replay. It was Conway who got up there, and he even timed it well to jump up there and block that. Otherwise, it would have gone over his head and maybe forced a tougher save for Conway. Can only be seconds left now at this point. Maybe one more opportunity here for the Toros as Davila shifts it forward. And the ball played way downfield, all the way back to Ruiz. Referee checking her watch. Toros still with an opportunity for the late equalizer. Here they're going to send it into the box. Nodarse with the header. Goes down to Lopez. Lopez falls down. Play will continue. Crowd doesn't like that. This is Ricketts. Ricketts will send it inside, and it goes off of a defender, and this will be a corner kick. And play continuing here all the way into the 9th minute of stoppage. We'll take another look at that opportunity here for Lopez.
Darce knocked it down beautifully, and you see the argument the Toros are trying to make is Lopez went down because he had his feet taken out from under him. I think the official's going to say, well, it's based upon where he placed his feet because the defender was already on the pitch at that point.
So this will be the season-high 12th corner and it's punched away by Vegas, then kicked away by Corona, and that's going to do it. And San Diego Loyal holds on by the skin of their teeth to win this one, take all 3 points in a 3-2 victory over the Rio Grande Valley Toros, and their 5-game unbeaten streak comes to an end. San Diego extends their road warrior string to 4 consecutive games. And Brian, who's our man of the match?
I think you look no further than the big-time scorer, Mushaban. See him right there for San Diego Loyal. Ends up scoring 2 goals and assisting on a third. That's all the scoring for San Diego Loyal in this one. They needed a big performance to continue their strong push, and that's exactly what they get. There's his first goal. Quick attack there, another look at it for Tyler Derrick. Knew it was happening. Moshaban was in the back of the net. That put the Loyal up 2-0. And then later in the second half, take a look at this slipping past the defense, was able to stay onside in the process. Moshaban finished that one bottom right corner of the net. That puts San Diego Loyal back up ahead 3-2, and they secure a huge victory in the Western standings.
All right, and we'll close things out in just a moment. Right now, you're watching USL Championship Soccer on ESPN+.
At HEB, we're inspired by Mexico. The colors, the flavors, and aromas. And we want to share them with you. So we created the HEB Mi Tienda family of products with authentic Mexican flavors, from savory marinated meats, frijoles and queso, to tamales, soft drinks, and more. HEB Mi Tienda brings you the traditional flavors you love. One more reason here, everything's better.
Why choose Lone Star National Bank for your business? Because no other bank does more to support local businesses. In fact, we are the #1 lender in the Valley to small businesses. We put money to work here in our community.
That helps our local businesses grow.
Creating more jobs.
And more opportunities for all of us.
Working together.
Together.
We do what the little banks can't and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
When it comes to our familia, we all have our own flavor and expression. At Tequila de Corralejo, we believe sharing our individuality is what makes gathering together so fun. Here's to those who stand tall and share their passion.
Espinos Tires on FAR 83 has been serving the Valley for over 30 years. We offer a wide assortment of tires, wheels, and auto parts. Let us build your dream vehicle with only $49 down. No credit required.
Did you know when you bank with Lone Star National Bank, you're investing in your community? By creating jobs that stimulate our local economy, creating success that we share with our community. In fact, Lone Star National Bank donates more money and more volunteers to more causes than all other area banks combined. We do what the little banks can't, and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
And we're back at HEB Park. Time to wrap it up with some highlights. Brian?
Just phenomenal scoring opportunities on both sides. Early on, it was all San Diego Loyal. Take a look at this attack. Perfectly placed. Little slip pass, second opportunity touch here before it's cleared away by Nodarse. Coming back the other way, Vegas goes full extension to keep that one tied up at 0-0. Later on, the spectacular job you see there by Damas to come in and put that one off of Pimentel. Moshaban, about 2 seconds later, it felt like, responded again. That puts the Loyal up 2-0. Nice job there by Tyler Derrick of coming out and applying some pressure. That one's kicked over the top by Guido for San Diego Loyal. Second half was all Toros for a little bit there. Jonathan Ricketts dialing long distance. Got out his calling card and was able to make a connection there. That pulled the Toros back to within 2-1. And that pressure continued to mount for Rio Grande Valley. You see here, foul placed. Ricketts was upended. Penalty kick by Pinzon finds the back of the net. We're now knotted at 2-2. And that would hold well into the second half of the second half. Remember, the Toros had not lost a match when they were tied or ahead after 75 minutes. But Moshaban has a response to that. 82nd minute, he comes up with a huge score there to put the Loyal up 2-1. Very late opportunity here. Frank Lopez almost slips that pass, looking for the equalizer, but it was not to be had for Rio Grande Valley on the evening. You see big hugs there for Moshaban as San Diego Loyal come away with a huge 3-2 victory.
And so for San Diego, their second win in their last 3 matches, and they now have a 4-game unbeaten streak away from home. They'll return to home next week. There'll be a Sunday match 8 days from now. They'll take on the Birmingham Legion. Meanwhile, the Toros, who stay at 31 points tonight, the Toros will have San Antonio on a Wednesday night game. That'll be here at HEB Park, Wednesday, August the 30th, and we'll have that match for you right here. So hope you enjoyed it. San Diego Loyal with a 3-2 victory here at HEB Park tonight. For Brian Smith, I'm Mark May, and the rest of our USL Championship broadcast crew saying so long from Edinburgh, Texas.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.